Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tech Studio 24. This is a free coding classroom, and today I'm going to be taking you on Python basics. This class or this series of classes, it's actually for beginners. And if you want to understand clearly what Python is all about, the basics of Python, I would advise you to follow through with a series of classes that I'm going to be taking on this particular topic. Without wasting any time, let's dive in. The first thing you need to understand about Python that it's a programming language. It's one of the simplest and easiest programming language so far. More very versatile and very easy to study and understand. So in this course, we are going to be looking at how to print statements or print uh, data in Python. See what I have here. I have one print text studio. I'm going to see how this is executed in Python. And the first part of Python that we are going to study is the variables. I want to quickly define variables as containers of the data which act like the data they contain. So the variables they actually carry data or carry materials, and they also act like the materials carry. I'm going to demonstrate that while we're doing the study. And this is a brief breakdown of what we are going to be looking into. So we take them one after the other. So I want to show you a demonstration, a graphic demonstration of the word variables, which is our first study. So variables are like so. So let's take this as a container, any container, and let's take this ball, this blue ball, as a value or a data or a material or a substance, whatever you want to call it. So variable is this container you have here, while what it carries inside is a substance, a material, or a value, a data, whatever you want to call it. So the variable itself acts like the value that it carries. So it's safe to say the variable is equal to the value or the data. So I can also illustrate this like name, which is a variable, equals to Paul. So Paul is a variable. Paul is actually the data inside the variable, not the variable. So Paul is the data that is inside the variable called name. So the variable name acts like the data Paul. So Paul actually here in Python is described as a string. A string is a test data type in Python as a mean of string. So a test data in Python, that's what we call string. And age equals 21. Age is the variable containing the data 21. So age is equivalent to 21. Now, this is a numeric integer or int, whole numbers. While this name equals 4 is a string, the age equals 21 is actually an int or integer. Integers are whole integers here, whole numbers. Age equals to 21.999. This is a numeric float. Floats are decimals. Then the last type of variables is the one we describe as a boolean. If it is true, is underscore true equals to true, is underscore false equals false. So if something is true or false, that's called boolean. In fact, if the data is true or false, we will explain this while we go. Well, I'd like to give you a little bit of some illustration here. If I ask you what is your name, and you say my name is Paul, so the name actually is the variable, while the Paul is what is found in the name, or Paul is equivalent to the question I had, that's your name. So this is a string. If I ask you what's your age, and you give me a number, that's a numerical integer. And if I ask you 5 divided by 2, here you notice that I use age here. Actually, age cannot be 21.99. This is actually hyperbolically speaking. You're not yet 22, so 21.999 means you're not yet 22. But the best form of explanation here is if I ask you like 5 divided by 2. 5 divided by 2, you say the answer equals 2.5, right? Okay, you say the answer equals 2.5. So 5 divided by 2 happens to be the container of 2.5. So 5 divided by 2 is equivalent. This is a good illustration of how to find float. Sorry, yeah, how to find float, which is decimal number. So when the integer is in decimals, it is described as a float. But when the integer is in whole numbers, it is described as int. Described as it. When the numeric, sorry, not integer, when the numeric is in decimals, is described as a float, while when the numeric is in numeric integer is a whole number like this here, describe it as int. So that's integer. So just understand the difference between an integer and a float. The fraction of is the decimal point, decimal. While for boolean, you have whether something is true or false. London is in USA. That's a false statement, right? Okay. London is in United Kingdom. Okay. A true statement. So that's where you get your boolean. All right. Now let's go straight and use these all these illustrations here in the real form for in the actual demonstration for Python. So I'm going to be using an IDE. Remember, if you want to create in a programming language, you need an IDE. IDE is actually, let me review IDE. This is the platform where you write your programs. This is a platform. Okay, an IDE, and now my IDE is going to be Visual Code, so you can use any of your choice IDE. There are quite a number of them, but I'm going to be using Visual Code. So make sure your Python is installed from python.org. Go to python.org here. Then you python.org is there. Then you go to downloads, download the version. The current version as at time of recording of this video is 3.12.6. So you download it, install it on your system, or install it on in your IDE. So I'll just open my VS Code, and first I go to file. My VS Code, I go to file. Or if you don't want to go to file, you have shortcut. Command Shift P. So you look for new Python file, click on it, you have this, then you try to give the file a name by saying save as. Go to file and click on save as. Then here is untitled, so I need to give it a name. Let's say name underscore basics .py. So you save this. Okay, there you have it. Main underscore basics .py. There's a Python extension to save a Python file. Alright, now we're going to demonstrate all we've been talking about Python. In Python, you have the area of the IDE where you type in whatever it is you want to type in on this side. Then you have another area of the IDE that's called the terminal here. So everything you execute here displays here at the terminal. That's what happens. So we're going to be looking at that. Let me bring this here, so full screen. Right. Okay. So we're going to be looking at so First, let me demonstrate how Python program works. Print with a print statement. We have print brackets. You have parentheses and write any name. Text Studio 24. You execute this print statement by clicking on run. Down here you will have text Studio 24. So see, this is the response. So if you change this to your name, maybe John, and you hit on the run button, you see it displays John. You can see that. So this is how the Python program works. Okay, now I'm just going to use the hash key to silence this or turn this to a comment. So let's go to our today's topic, which is variables. So we start with variables. Now I'll use a hash key to make some comments about our topic. So let's for the variables in Python. Okay, now the reason why I put hash here is because what I'm about to write is a topic, so we don't want this to be a part of the display down here in the panel. So this is used to isolate your statements or wherever you see. It's different in different programs, but in Python I use the hash key. So let's something on variable. So like I said initially, I did my opening statement. If you have name equals, you put inverted comma, inverted comma, whether single or double. You have I'm actually using single inverted comma, but you can use double. Then you put in the name like John. Now this is your function. You have defined your function as a name equals John. So you can now instruct the IDE to print in close brackets so put the name there, NAME. So print name, and let's try to execute this, see what is going to be. So print name, and we told us the name is what? John. You can see down here. So this tells us that this is a variable. You see when I move the cursor around, it tells you that it's a variable name that means John. See that? So the answer gives you John. What I like about the VS Code is you get some really good illustration. So I actually recommend that you use VS Code. Python is a very simple use. Okay, now try other things like if I have a name first underscore name to be equal to Terry. Now remember the Terry must be come on, not double. I can use double so you see those who work with double. It's simple. Alright. Now what I've done here is I've given my variable to be Terry. First underscore name or first name variable to be Terry. Now if I add another one and say my last name or surname, depends on what part of the world you are. So I can say so underscore name equals bold inverted commas again, bolting. All right, now that's another variable with surname was bolting. Now I ask my Python to print put your brackets. Okay. Now let me remove that. Now what do you want to print? I want to ask you what is your full name. But let's go there first. Let's take it gradually so you can easily understand this. Yeah, I want to put these two together. I want to combine these two variables. First name to be Cherry and surname to be Bolting. So I want to say print now first name, first underscore name up there. Plus underscore name. You'll see that. Now follow me very closely. Print first underscore name plus surname. Underscore name. Or depending on where you have from this to the last one. Now if I execute this function, before I execute this function, remember there's another print function too, so I need to silence the comment so the hash is not applicable. Now we print this, we set terrible, but notice here terrible to that means first name plus notice here there is no space between Terry and Bolton, just Terry Bolton. So, but if you want to make it to be the way it should be, you want to make it to be to get space like having Terry and Bolton. All you need to do is come here. You are going to put another inverted comma in between, put a space, that space put nothing, then here come here put plus. Now I would like to make this so we just did two things here. So if I execute this, I will have it, voila, terrible thing separated. Now what I was trying to say is, remember that we did two things here. We had a time where the words were together, and we had a time where we separated. So what brings the difference is just this. This is the command that brought this difference. So the plus plus on both sides of the double inverted parentheses. Okay, so that's how to get your surname and first name, or first name and surname together. Okay, let me grab a cup of tea. Continue. All right, great. I just did grab a cup of tea. So let's go ahead. Here we want to try something a little bit different. Now, you have to understand that you can combine as many as possible. Many as possible. Now, you can say here you can have full underscore name, full underscore name equals terrible thing in your inverted parentheses, very space in, then do this, and you can add print and full underscore name. Well, just like I told you before, you don't lay two prints together like that. You just silence the first one so that you can have a good programming languaging without error. Alright, so if you print this, you have terrible things. So you can actually do them this way. Does it really mean? So what this did was that the first one we did, what it did was that he added two variables together, two string variables. Remember, this is a string variable. So you added two string variables together to get whatever we had here. Now, if you want to understand the kind of variables that you are using, you can do that by asking your IDE to print the type variable. Print type variable. So if I put it in between here, all I just need to do is I'll put print, so inverted comma, and add type. See there. And put another, not inverted comma, sorry, close bracket. Put another close bracket and put in your value there. That's your variable. Okay. Now, of course, silence this particular thing here. Without just one print. So then execute. Now, when you execute that or you run that, you see it tells you the class of Python, or the class of Python that you're using type, and this is string. So all these that we're using type as string. So let me add a statement somewhere here. We hash, say all these type Python I'm using belongs to class strings. also referred to as str. Okay, so I hope this is understood. Now we need to check. Let's run this to the comments so it doesn't affect what we're going to do forward. So we need to check another class called numerics or numericals. And the numericals are divided into two: is either a float or an integer. So let's take an example: numerical classes. So we have age. I use a smaller line equals 30. Now this is an integer, so you're going to check that integer or int. Oh, now to put in function print brackets age, and you execute, so tell you the answer is 30. So I need to clear some of this. Just type CLEAR, clear so that we have one. Continue. Okay, now age is 30, so age is a variable and 30 is age, so on and so forth. Now this function is called integer. So if you want to find out what it is, use the same way we did over here. Right. So copy it. Paste here and change this to age. Then of course this, and if you execute, it tells you that the class of Python I'm using is the type integer. So that's it. So these are integers. Now integers are whole numbers. Integers are whole numbers. This is a class integer or int. So put whole numbers in brackets. That is whole number. Now, what if I ask you to find the value of 13 divided by 2? Ask you to find the value of 13 divided by 2. So I have value equals, of course, we know 13 divided by 2 is 0.5. So be there 0.5. Now print bracket value. To run this, we will the 6.5. Now, if you look for the type of Python, remove this and put your value there as your variable. Silence the comment, and now you understand why I'm silencing it. But less is for us to be able to isolate when we are printing. This thing needs to be silent too. So you understand exactly what we're printing. So this is what we're printing. So click on. So you see, it belongs to the class called float. So there. This belongs class float. Okay. Good. All right. I'm sure you are taking note of this and you're enjoying this class. I would like you to click on the subscribe button below on this channel to keep this type of free classes coming every time. You are actually responsible for keeping us uh, online and providing you with free classes like this. I tend to make this a very, very long series, and I will need your encouragement by going to the subscribe button. I want you to click on it, subscribe, so you can keep us, encourage us to keep bringing this. This basics for Python is going to be a very long topic, and I'm going to make sure it's as simple as possible and as simple and very easy, so you can easily understand Python, starting from the beginner basics like this to the expert. So Python is easy if you can understand the basics and go through the intermediate, then go to the become an expert. So let's continue. Please like and subscribe to help us and keep us in business, or keep us bringing this to you all the time. Now we are going to move from this float, and we are going to move to the other type of variables like Boolean. I'm sure you've heard of Boolean. Boolean. So let's study Boolean. I put a statement here. Let's study Boolean. So you know, Boolean is a true or false statement. Okay, that's what it is. So, like I said in my opening, I asked you, is London in the United States of America? And the answer was false. But is London in United Kingdom? And the answer is true. So let's illustrate that using Python. So you have, if it is true, or rather is underscore true equals true. Okay, is underscore false equals false, of course. Now, these are Boolean statements. So the instructions will be if it's London in America, print is false. And it's London in okay. Now you have to understand the difference in Boolean. This is Boolean. This is a Boolean in Python. Now let's have, so if I silence this and silence this too, so that it doesn't affect what we're doing, and I run, have false, print is a false. I silence this other false and release this, and I run, it will give us true. Now the illustration in Python is quite a little bit technical. If you have, for example, when you use a statement here, if you have a basket containing 6 red balls and 3 yellow balls. Huh? If you are asked, you can put it up here. If you are asked to confirm by true or false, if the basket contains red balls, the answer will be true. If you have to, so yeah, the answer will be true. But if you are asked, if the basket has red and yellow ball, the answer will be false. This is because there is no such thing as red and yellow ball in the basket. The answer will be true if there are red balls. The answer will be true if there are yellow balls. But the answer will be false if there are red and yellow balls. Because none of the balls has both red and yellow together. So that's a Boolean. So you need to understand this about Boolean. Now, one other thing I need to tell you about the floating numbers, because Python is also mathematical in nature. You can actually hear, let me silence all the screens. Silence this. Okay, you can see here print bracket 12 divided by 2. Yeah, you can do that. Because already installed in Python is a mathematical operation, plus, minus, divide. So if you run this, you will also get 6.0. Yeah, I think it was 13. If you run that, this is any of these. So basically, we have just gone to Boolean, float, integer, and string in Python. In our next lesson, we are going to continue from there. Like I said, this is going to be a long series and intended to give you a full understanding of Python programming language. Keep these materials coming. I'd like you to click on the subscribe button, like and subscribe to this course channel so we can bring more of this to you.
This is the first episode in a series of tutorials on Python basics. For beginners, more episodes are coming soon. Meanwhile, to encourage us to bring more free tutorials like this will cost you $0. All you need to do is click like and subscribe below on this YouTube channel, and we will be empowered to bring more free tutorials. This is the first episode in a series of tutorials on Python basics. For beginners, more episodes are coming soon. Meanwhile, to encourage us to bring more free tutorials like this will cost you $0. All you need to do is click like and subscribe below on this YouTube channel, and we will be empowered to bring more free tutorials.